I'm Patrick Bailey with IQless.com. Today is April 9th, 2018. And if you're like me, you may already have, or you may in the future develop a 3D printing problem where you just print far too much. And so currently I've been printing using this Prusa i3 Mark III printer. I've been printing pretty much 24 hours a day, which is not a bad thing. It's built to take that. But I actually run this Prusa i3 Mark III in my bedroom. So one problem I do have, is the LCD screen is very bright. So I have an extra bright night light at night that I have to deal with. So let me show you off a simple thing I designed and stuck out on Thingiverse to actually fix that problem. Well, and here's what I designed. It happens to be Thing 2855599, and I put it on Thingiverse to share. And here it is, up close and in life, in person, I guess. And so it's just a flat surface. It's got these little areas that are knurled and put in a little bit, so just to grab. And it has a simple, just kind of goes up a little bit there, so it just catches on the LCD screen. So that happens to be a little small on the LCD screen, so let's see if I can kind of capture this. So you just kind of have to, over here, and just kind of place it on there. And it just kind of fits. And so that's been working pretty well. So at night I just kind of stick that on, and I'm not getting blinded anymore. Now, I don't know if I look around, I don't see any way to adjust the brightness of the LCD screen. But even if there was a way to adjust it, you may not want to. Maybe it's just more convenient to stick something like this on. But, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. So I'm pretty happy printing that out. Also, because the light's coming through, I printed this out with a 70% infill. And I also chose a darker color because I have noticed there's some colors, like I happen to have this yellow. I don't know if it's going to show up very well. And I'd have to, if I get a bright light behind it, like where I got the sun coming in here, and I can actually see through it. So you probably want to choose a darker color that doesn't occur with, otherwise the LCD will, of course, be shining right through it. Let's see what else. I also designed it in Fusion 360, so I'm getting a little bit better at Fusion 360. And so here is my design. And so let's see, I can rotate it here a little bit. So there it is from the side. You can kind of see there's little knurled edges there, and there's the top. And if I go upside down, I can see, come on. There's my little IQless symbol that I stuck in there that my son helped me design. A little ideal on that. So, it's kind of cool to put a little symbol in there. So a lot of fun designing that. Dun, dun, dun. It was just cool. It was fun. And it worked. It was simple. Now, one thing I want to talk really quickly about is rapid prototyping. The 3D printer was kind of created for industry back in the day for rapid prototyping. And if you're unfamiliar with what rapid prototyping is, all it is you have an idea, and sometimes you have an idea, you don't have it fleshed out quite yet, you're not sure what's going to happen, so you make a quick, rough prototype to see how it's going to work, because you have to get it in your hand and touch it. And so some of the first 3D printers, and I wasn't around for this, I got to see it start, 20 plus years ago. I worked at a CNC shop in the mid-90s, and the owner actually was about to order one of these, the first 3D printers, where it was kind of like in a, I don't know my terminology, but you can get them now. It's a type of 3D printer where you have a solution in there, and you have a laser that hardens it. And back then, they were rather expensive because they were pretty new, but people wanted to use them because a lot of companies could do rapid prototyping. They could have an idea, and they could print it out fairly quickly in hours or even just a day, which that's pretty rapid back in the day. And they could look at it and feel it and go, no, that's right or wrong. Or they had, even before 3D printing, they would cut out foam things and, touch it and feel it, or wood or clay to kind of get a feel for it. So don't try to go for perfection. So I actually have 3 versions here. Let me see if I think I have them all here, where I was trying just ideas out. Let me see if I can go to the first one. And some of them were just horrendous, but they were rapid prototypes. So here's my first version, and you can see it is it is super tall compared to the other one. And I had this idea where I wanted to angle them in, so if I angled it in, it would actually catch on the edges there. And since I needed to be out more, I wanted to angle it, and you can print on an angle and have a really good surface up to a degree, but I think this was 60 degrees or so. I don't quite remember, but it was too much, and it kind of didn't get a smooth edge. And then I had this little topper here that I could pull off, and it kind of worked. I mean, it sticks on there, but doesn't fall over, thank goodness, but it's kind of big. So I was able to have that idea real quickly and print it out and go, yeah, it looks like I got the bottom portion right and kind of the right idea, but it didn't work out. Also, I had this idea is I'm trying to, I won't say I'm good at this yet because I'm still new, but I like the ideas. If you're going to design something for 3D printing, design it for 3D printing. So design it so you don't have to have supports if you can avoid them, so that it can lay flat, so that it can work really well. And I've seen a lot of people do some great designs. So like, I don't have one on me, but like the carabiner design that I printed out before. Great design because it's really flat. He's got it designed so it can just print really well without supports. And so I wanted to follow that. So putting this little top on, I had to print this bottom out first to try to follow that philosophy. And then the only way I could do it is if I wanted to go flat out here, perfectly flat with that design, I'd have to print supports, and I was trying to avoid that. So that was my first one. And then my second idea I had, so I took some of the ideas out of that. Let me hide that. And are you going to show up? Maybe. Oh, upside down. You're not going to show it to, huh? Oh, now you disappeared. I gotta figure these things out, don't I? We got that. And we got that. There we go, buddy. I need to figure out Fusion 360. Why can't I see you? What did I do wrong? Let me go back here. Look at my history. I'm viewing something wrong. Anyway, I had a second design. I gotta figure this out. I had the flat top so I could print it like that, but I still angled that bottom. And as I angled that bottom, I had to, put a higher distance in there, I thought. And that kind of worked, but I figured, oh, you know what? I don't really have to go that far. In fact, that bottom should be less than the length of that LCD because it can just lay in there. And so the third design worked. So prototype. Take some ideas, throw something out there, print it real quick, because then you get that feedback. So don't wait for perfection. Sometimes you wait for perfection and you never get there. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with this and I'm using it, so I'm happy. It's cool. So next, let me go over the numbers for the print. Okay, I got my design working, so I just wanted to show that. So there's a little angle there, you can kind of see. That's my second prototype. Cool. But anyway, the numbers. So first, special situation on these numbers. Normally I'm doing a 20% infill, but because this needs to, protect needs to be thick, and get that, make sure that light doesn't come through. I did a 70% infill. So there's a little bit more PLA in it. So with that in mind, here's the numbers. So it took 2 hours and 2 minutes to print. It took 1.7 cents with electricity. And it also took, I'm no longer using filament length, I'm using mass. It took 0.034 kilograms of PLA, and at $20 a kilogram, which is what I'm roughly paying right now, that comes to 68 cents. So if you add that all together, and you round down, you get 69 cents for the print. So, not bad. Definitely worth 70. Definitely worth 70 cents, 69 cents, so that I can, not blind myself at night. So I have been using other things to kind of just put over it and cover it up at night, and it's been working, but I've got a 3D printer, so why don't I 3D print a solution for myself? Anyway, so hope you liked the video. Hope this is useful to someone out there. And for those who are like me, who like to watch time-lapse videos, here's a much longer time-lapse of this actually getting printed out. hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we were doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.